Um, you're all going to have to follow me today in prayer and then the reading of the Psalms, unless somebody's going to work the computer. This camera's focused, right? Well, then you can pull up the Psalms on. Pull up Psalms.
I thank you for Hebrew Israel. I thank you for the ability to know you. We come before you with bowed heads and humbled hearts, asking us, asking you to give us complete rest on this day. We ask that you would continue to bless the leadership of this community here in Sacramento, California. We ask for the blessings upon all those that are leaders, upon all Hebrew Israel, pan-Hebrew Israel. We ask you for patience as we gather ourselves for community. We pray for those that are in leadership. We pray for those strength and those that are in leadership. We ask that you would continue to shower your blessings upon Hebrew Israel as we walk in your ways and do the things that are righteous before you. We continue by continuing to look forward to seeing all your blessings that you will bestow upon us and our descendants. And all these things we say, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom to everybody today. We're going to read from the Helium Psalms 96 and 97. Read with me if you would. Sing to Yahweh a new song. Sing to Yahweh all the earth. Sing to Yahweh, bless his name. Proclaim his victory day after day. Declare his glory among the nations, his wonders among all peoples. For Yahweh is great and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared more than all gods. For all the elves of the peoples are idols, but Yahweh made the heavens. In his presence are honor and majesty, in his sanctuary strength and splendor. Give Yahweh his due, you families from the peoples. Give Yahweh his due of glory and strength. Give Yahweh the glory due to his name. Bring an offering and enter his courtyards. Worship Yahweh in holy splendor. Tremble before him, all the earth. Say among the nations, Yahweh is king. The world is firmly established, immovable. He will judge the peoples fairly. Let the heavens rejoice, let the earth be glad. Let the sea roar and everything in it. Let the fields exalt all that is in them. Then all the trees in the forest will sing before Yahweh, because he has come. He has come to judge the earth. He will judge the world rightly and the peoples with faithfulness. Yahweh is king. Let the earth rejoice. Let the many coasts and islands be glad. Clouds and thick darkness surround him. Righteousness and justice are the foundation of his throne. Fire goes before him, setting blaze his foes on every side. His flashes of lightning like the light of the world. The earth sees it and trembles. The mountains melt like wax at the presence of Yahweh, at the presence of the master of all the earth. The heavens declare his righteousness. All the people see his glory. All who worship images will be put to shame. Those who make their boast in worthless idols bow down to him, all you elves. Zion hears and is glad. Yahweh, the daughters of Yehudah, rejoice at your rulings. For you, Yahweh, most high over all the earth, you are exalted far above all else. You who love Yahweh hate evil. He keeps his faithful servants safe. He rescues them from the powers of the wicked. Light is shown for the righteous, the joy of the upright in heart. Rejoice in Yahweh, you righteous, and give thanks on recalling his holiness. You may be seated. King of kings, the master of master, is the master of peace and love and joy. And we're thankful for his total faithfulness. This time, Sean Appleton.
You got me. Just turn me down just a little bit in the house. I'm a little loud. Just a little loud. Turn me down just a little bit. What am I on? Number 12. Whatever 12. Not the channel 12, but there you go. I'll try to talk a little bit soft. I'll try to get not so fired up today. So I'm going to feedback the mics. To the beneficent, that's beautiful. To the beneficent, Yahweh Elohim. Yahweh Eye Asher Eye. And you know where that comes from, right? The Eye Asher Eye part. Y'all know where that is? That's in Shemot. Chapter number what? We was in 13, where we hear the name of the Most High. Eye Asher Eye. It says that I am that I am. I will be that I will be what? I will be what? I will be, it's part of your covenant. I will be your Elohim, and you will be my people. It identifies the name of the Most High and identifies the contract that is associated with the name of the Most High, that is associated with you. And we're going to go over that here in a second. But to the beneficent who has allowed me to be here today, I thank the Most High, El Shaddai, for yet another Shabbat to be with you. For all of you that are here, my dignitaries that are here, I see Moray Robert B. Holman Jr., Shabbat Shalom to you today, sir. For those of you that are joining by way of the stream, for those of you that wanted to be here in the house but couldn't, maybe observing a mitzvot, for those of you that are viewing by way of the stream, wherever you are, pan-Hebrewism, because I understand that we've got some people that are international now. I think we got some people in France and Germany and Kenya and some other places that are listening to us. Shabbat Shalom to you today. For those descendants that are not here with us, and our descendants that are here with us, that will hear these recordings and know that we did the best we could with the information that we had, that you could stand on the shoulders of giants and see further. Shabbat Shalom to all of you. Now, to my esteemed group of Hebrews that have joined me here in the studio audience. She said, yay. We just not waking up, Moray. Come on, don't do this to me now. Stratosphere. We ready to go. All right, ready to go subterranean. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. All right. We back at it, y'all, for another 4 weeks. One more again, just to tell you like it, T.I. is. Straight, unadulterated, straight, no chaser from the mouth of the Most High. I am, I'm going to stay over here laughing at me. I'm excited to be here. You know why? It's the Sabbath. Thank you. You took my thunder. Come on up here and teach this today. It's the Sabbath. A couple of weeks, it's funny that you answered. Your son and I had a conversation a couple of weeks ago. He may remember this. Moray Beverly. I'm sorry. I said my dignitaries in the room. I didn't even say your name. Moray Beverly. Shabbat Shalom. Matter of fact, before I even go any further, we forgot to do something. See, I ain't been up here in a while and forgot half my liturgy. We haven't done something. What do we usually do? Oh, there it is. Vayikra, chapter number what? 19, verse 32 says, what? You are to what? Stand. Right. For those who have gray hair, show them honor. So let's rise to our feet. Turn to the nearest person that has gray hair, probably the only one in here. Look them in the eye and say, Shabbat Shalom. We honor their wisdom. We honor their leadership. All right, now we can get moving. Moray Beverly and I had a conversation. And I had said to him, I said, I am happy to be here on the Shabbat. And I don't know at the time that I had realized when we had said that, we said, you know, it's a joyous occasion when we're able to do something. We're able to honor what the Most High asks us to do, right? And I got to thinking about the concept because we were going back and forth on how we just enjoy this particular day. And I got to thinking about the issue. Now, I'm going to take a little side quest. I'm going to be doing a lot of those today. Me and your Moray had a conversation. We're trying not to talk about this dude across the street anymore. We're trying to put him in his proper place in the dust and leave him there. But I can't. Not just yet. I got to get a couple more. I got to put a couple more pieces, shovels of dirt on top of the casket. I was thinking to myself, I said, I know the Shabbat is ordained, and why I enjoy it so much is because now I have reason to be here. There's a mitzvot that says that you will meet on the Shabbat, and you shall do what on the Shabbat? You shall rest on the Shabbat. I got to thinking about my Hebristians and my Christian brothers and sisters, and I started to ask myself, why do you meet every 7 days? Why do you meet every 7 days? Who told you that you had to meet on Sunday every 7 days? Tradition, right? Where does that come from? They think the Sabbath is Sunday. I did a little Google AI research on this one. And the AI came up and said the reason why they at least meet on Sunday at least is to honor the fact that Jesus Christ died, and 3 days he was dead and he rose on the third day, which would have been Sunday. That's why they meet on Sunday. But why do you meet every 7 days? You could literally go like y'all usually do, which is on Easter and Christmas, and be fine, because there is no set frequency set in your text that says you have to come to church or meet every 7 days. Somebody asked me, why do I meet here on congregation every 7 days? Because there's a mitzvot that tells me to. The Most High said, meet now. Where is that in your text across the street? When does it tell you to meet every 7 days? It doesn't. So you can't justify some of the things that you're doing. And I delight in the fact that the Most High has given us this opportunity to say, I'm going to meet with you. I want you to honor this particular day. And now I have empirical evidence in text that I can take somebody to that says, this is why I have to be here. Where before, if I would have asked you that as a Christian, what answer would you have given me? Why do you meet? Matter of fact, roll the clock back. We was all there. Don't act like y'all wasn't Christians at one time. And somebody asked you, why do we meet every 7 days? You would have told them what? He said, because I'm saved. I don't want to go to hell. You meet on Sunday every 7 days because you don't want to go to hell? Oh, it presses it back. Okay. Wow. Woo, some of these answers y'all giving. You don't have a real good answer, do you? There isn't one. You're going to make one up. You probably don't even know that's why you meet on Sundays, to honor that period that Jesus died. It's a tradition. It's something that the Most High says in Deuteronomy chapter number what? 4. Don't add to it and don't take away from it. That's how I know you are in a religion. I'm going to look at this lady right here. You know how you can tell this is a religion? How do I tell something is a religion? How do you know that Christianity is a religion? I'm going to give you a proof. It's real easy. Okay? It's real easy. The Most High said do X. Any deviation from that or interpretation by man to amend something like that is religion. I'm putting something in place to do something around this particular issue. Okay? For instance, right? The one I just gave about the Shabbat. The Most High said do X. You're not doing that. You're meeting on a different day and for a different reason. I told you not to follow after other gods, and you're doing it. I told you not to drink blood. I told you not to do this. I told you not to do that. And any interpretation around that is what religion is. It's establishing other things around it. Okay? Here's another one. Jewish Ashkenazians believe that when a woman gets married, you shouldn't see her hair, that you should cover it up. Some go as so far as to take their real hair, put it in a bun or however it's covered up, and they actually wear a wig over top of it. Where is that in text? It's not. It's in addition to something. We're adding to or taking away. It's establishing this, and then we're going to go take it a step further to do whatever else. It's like an identifier religion. But you'd have to know what the Most High's ways are in order for you to know, oh, okay, this is a deviation from it. Right? Okay. 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 We good? We're good. Okay. We are going to continue in our study of Devarim chapter, or the book of Devarim, which is the book of Deuteronomy, right? Deuteronomy in the Greek means what? No, that's the Hebrew. That's Devarim. It means the second law. Okay? We had Leviticus, that meant it was for the tribe of Levi, Leviticus, and they have Deuteronomy, which is the second law, which is going over some of the things that were in Vayikra, which we just came out of, and it's preparing our ancestors as they get ready to enter the land. That's where we're at right now. So we're in chapters number 5 and 6 today. There's something famous in chapter number 6 that you should resonate with as soon as we get there. We're going to be doing quite a bit of reading today. All right? Probably need to get this other book up here real quick. All right. Let's set the stage. We are getting ready to enter the land. Moshe is preparing our ancestors for this particular task. And as he's doing this, he's remembering all of the things that happened to Hebrew Israel. He's reminding them basically what the Most High has done for you. He's birthed you out of Mitzrayim. You came and met me. We talked. You didn't want to hear my beautiful voice anymore. We gave you the rest of the mitzvot at that particular time. You go on and you transverse through the desert. I give you your angel. Every time the cloud comes, it moves. You build a tabernacle. All those types of things happen in the wilderness. That's the book of Bamidbar, the book of Numbers. And now we are at the precipice of getting it on. We are at the precipice of getting across the Jordan, which this is the second time that the water will split. You knew that, right? There were 2 times that the water split for your ancestors. When was the first time? Was when Moshe, right, took them across the Sea of Suf when they were escaping from Mitzrayim. And what happened? The waters receded and our enemies were defeated. Who fought for us? The Most High. That should just roll right off of your mouth. The Most High. And then what did we do when we got over to the other side? We started to rejoice. Okay? This is the second time that the Most High has split the waters because they have to cross the Jordan in order to get into the land. The water split a second time. So it split 2 times before they actually got into the land. Okay? This is where we are. Now, Moshe is continuing with his dissertation to the group as to remember what the Most High has done. Okay? So we're remembering our ancestry. I'm going to need it. I'll come to it. Let's begin at the beginning. Let's begin at chapter number 5, verse number 1. Now, if y'all can get that back screen on, that would be marvelous. Because y'all can see it on the screens up here, right? Y'all got it up here. Okay, so let's follow along. Chapter number 5 of Devarim, or Deuteronomy, starting with verse 1. This is Moshe addressing your people. Envision Moshe. We're listening. Then Moshe, I'm going to stop for a second. Is Moshe an Egyptian name or a Hebrew name? He's Egyptian. When she pulled him out of the water, she called him Moshe because she drew him from the water. Moshe is his Egyptian name. I would still contend that after 8 days, when that young man was circumcised, that probably that wasn't his name. But we know him as Moshe. He was raised as an Egyptian. Keeping that in mind, because this is an individual that is very well versed in the politics of what happens in Mitzrayim, because he's in the chamber of Paro. He's being raised by the daughter of Paro. So he knows what's going on. He just knows how to lead. He has some qualities about him that set him apart. But I just wanted to stop and just bring that up again, that this is his Egyptian name. Now, the Moshe called to whom? Yisrael, and said to them this: listen, Israel, to some. Okay, all right, I guess y'all missed that. Listen, Israel, and listen to some. I'm adding to or taking away from? No, it didn't say that at all. It says, listen to the laws and rulings I am announcing in your hearing today, so that you will what? Learn them and take care to what? Obey them. Eye Asher Eye Yoel made a covenant. Now listen, I'm going to slow down and go slow because we're going to have to go somewhere after this. Eye Asher Eye Yoel made a covenant with us at Horeb. Eye Asher Eye did not make this covenant with our fathers, but with us, who are all here alive today. So we have a covenant that was made with us, right? But if you go back, does there appear to be 2 covenants? Let's go back a little bit to 2. It says, Eye Asher Eye RL made a covenant with us at Horeb. Eye Asher Eye did not make this covenant with our forefathers. He didn't make this covenant with our forefathers, but with us. Is there another covenant in play right now? Yes. Let me answer that for you. Because where? It is in Bereshit chapter number 17, when it talks about the covenant that was made between Abraham and the Most High. That covenant is in play right now. Let's go get it. Bereshit, chapter number 17, verse 1. He didn't make this covenant that we're making here today with our forefathers. So is there another covenant? Yes, there is another covenant that's in play. But both of these covenants are intertwined to each other. All right. Bereshit, or Genesis chapter number 17, starting at verse 1. Let's get it. And it says, when Abraham was 99, I said Abraham, didn't I? It's Avram. It's very important. When Avram was 99 years old, Yahweh appeared to Avram and said to him, I am who? El Shaddai, which means what? Yah, or El Almighty. Walk in my presence and be pure-hearted. I will make my covenant between me and you and I will increase. This is the terms of the covenant. I will increase your numbers greatly. Avram fell on his face, and El continued speaking with him. As for me, this is my covenant with you. You will be the father of many nations. Your name will no longer be Avram, exalted father. There's a name change that's associated with this covenant. His name has to change because it's attached to it. But your name will be Abraham, father of many, because I've made you father of many nations. I will cause you to be very fruitful. I will make nations of you. Kings will descend from you. I am establishing my covenant between me and you. Along with whom? Your descendants after you, generation after generation, an everlasting covenant to be what? Here it is. I am. Here's that part, that I am going to be something. It says what? To be El for you and your descendants. So what's a part of this covenant that we got already? I'm going to make you a father of many nations, right? I'm going to be your El, right? And it's going to apply to whom? You and your descendants coming after you. 8, I will give you, this is another piece of it, I will give you and your descendants after you the land which you are now foreigners, all the land of the Canaanite as a permanent possession, and I will be their El. So land, real estate, is associated with this covenant. Now, here's what it says. Yah said to Abraham, as for you, you are to keep my covenant. You and your descendants after you, generation after generation. Here is my covenant. These are the terms of what you need to do. All right? So when we're establishing, well, okay, what is our end of the, at this particular time, what is their end of the bargain? If I'm going to give you land, if I'm going to make you many nations, I'm going to be personally assigned to you as your El for you. That's my part. Walk in my ways and keep my covenant. These are the terms that you are supposed to fulfill at this time of Abraham. This is at the time of Abraham. It says what? Let's go back to 9. It says, and Yah said to Abraham, as for you, you are to keep my covenant, and you and your descendants after you, generation after generation. Here is my covenant. Here are the terms of the agreement, which you are to keep between me and you, along with your descendants after you. Every male among you is to be circumcised. You are to be circumcised in the flesh of your foreskin. This will be a sign of the covenant between me and you. Generation after generation, every male among you who is 8 days old is to be circumcised, including the slaves born within your household and those bought from a foreigner not descended from you. The slave born in your house and the person bought with your money must be what? Circumcised. This is my covenant. Will be in your flesh as an everlasting covenant. It is the sign. It is the sign. It is the sign that says, okay, I carry the covenant in my foreskin of my flesh. That what? The Most High is going to do what? He has to honor something. What is he making an oath and honor to do? Is keep this covenant. What's inside the covenant that the Most High has to do? Land. Okay? I'll be your El. Right? I'll make you the father of many nations. Right? Okay. Those are the part of the covenant. We memorialize the covenant by honoring this, by saying, this is my covenant. The covenant is the circumcision in the flesh. Okay? The second covenant that we're getting ready to talk about when we get over into Devarim, where we are in chapter number 5, talks about the terms of how Hebrew Israel is to conduct themselves as a nation of people. That covenant is what he's talking about when we get over to chapter number 5. Okay? So we have the assignment of what the covenant gets set up with Abraham, right? The first one. And then we add on to it with the second covenant that Hebrew Israel has. All right? That makes sense. Okay? I just want to establish that when we're saying, okay, when we're looking at this, if you've ever looked at it and said, okay, the covenant that the Most High is making with Abraham was for what? Was it for the stuff that they found out later on at Mount Horeb? Now, we do have an oral Torah law that is in place. All right? It's not memorialized until later on. But what's here, what we're establishing here, all right, is the Most High is saying, I'm going to assign this covenant to you, Abraham. And in order to assign this covenant to you, Abraham, these are the terms of the covenant. The foreskin gets circumcised. All right? That's how I know and will designate that these are the people that are supposed to receive it. Honor that covenant and walk in my ways. Continue to walk in my ways. I'm going to memorialize those later on with your descendants right before they get into the land. All right? So they're intertwined. That's all I'm trying to establish here. Whew, I took a long time to do that. Probably, did I confuse you? Or is it as clear as mud? The mud is cleared? It's clean water. Okay. Let's go back to it. Let's go back to chapter number 5 of Devarim. Maybe I could explain that a little bit better, but if you got any questions, we can talk about it a little bit more. All right. Let's get back to verse number 5. When it says, at the time, or matter of fact, let's go up to 4. No. Let's go 3. Let's go 3. Verse 3. Yahweh did not make this covenant with our forefathers. So the covenant I'm giving you today, he didn't make this with our forefathers, but with us, who are all of us here alive today. Yahweh spoke with you face to face from the fire on the mountain. Did he not do that? Yes, he did. He says, at that time I, Moshe, stood between Yahweh and you in order to tell you what Yahweh was saying. Because on the account of the fire, you were afraid and wouldn't go up into the mountain. So everybody remembers that. Most High shows up and we have this scene where this. How many of y'all actually were in Sacramento last night? You didn't fly in on your private jet this morning. You flew in your private jet this morning. Thank you. Oh, yes. What was going on last night in Sacramento? Sacramento's airspace was rattling and shaking, wasn't it? Why? Especially if you was over in Del Paso Heights. South Sac was rumbling too? All right. So the sky was exploding last night. That had no, okay, if you think that was, oh, man. It was bad on my street where they were setting them jokers off and all you heard next was, somebody's car alarm going off because it was so loud rattling the street. At the time that our ancestors met the Most High, you got to understand that thunderstorm, lightning, fire, the Most High is speaking very loudly to these rockhead people, but he's speaking. And he's saying, they said, whoa. You said those first 10 words, and that's where we get the utterances from. You know how people say, oh, we follow the 10 commandments? No. You follow the 10 things, the first 10 things the Most High said to who? Hebrew Israel, when he met them the first time. Right? Those are the first 10 things that he said. And then they said, stop talking. we can't take it anymore. And then they have this intercessor, Moshe, go in and he starts talking to the Most High because they couldn't stand it. Y'all can't sit over there across the street and say that there are 10 commandments. Those are the 10 words. before we said stop. Then they continue on. Okay? There's not just 10. There's a whole bunch more. But they don't apply to you because you're not Hebrew Israel. They only apply to Hebrew Israel. So do whatever you need to do. Okay? So, when the Most High met us for the first time, nation of people, we just got birthed out of Mitzrayim. We arrive at Mount Horeb, and the Most High comes to meet his bride. And he gives her the ketubah. This is the analogies that we make here. This is the ketubah. This is the marriage contract. And he says this to our ancestors. I am Eye Asher Eye. Who? Your El. He can't be the El of the world. There is specificity here. It is to Hebrew Israel. I am your El, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, where you, what? Lived as slaves. 2. That's what the Bereshit or the bet means, that little symbol. You are to have no other Els before me. Roll back the clock. I want you to be a Christian for a little bit. And I come up to you and I said, oh, you believe in God. Who is God? Who's God? Now I'm listening right here. You didn't answer me yet today. Who's God? The Most High is God. But if you were a Christian, you would probably say what? Who's God? Jesus Christ, right? JC. You would say JC's God, right? And I would tell you, no. JC is the Son of God. Who is God? Well, Jesus is God. No. Even in your own text, it says Jesus is the Son of God. Who is God? Well, now you need to know who. Wait a minute, you don't even know the name of your own God? What's his name? Okay, wait. Do you go around, you're a mother, do you go around and people say, Mom, when you write on your an application or you're filling out something, do you put your name as Mom, last name Mom, middle name Mom? No, Mom is a title, right? So tell me what your God's name is. JC is not God. He's the Son of God. He can't be the son and the daddy at the same time. That sounds like some old trailer park stuff. Not shouting out the trailer park people. If you got, ooh, in the comment section, they're getting ready to tear me up. You need to be PC now. You know, something ain't right here. How can you be your cousin and your brother and your uncle at the same time? All right? He's the son. What is your God's name? Okay, let me help you out. I think you might be talking about Yahweh. Did you know that? No, okay, you didn't. Let me take you to where I'm giving y'all some game. Okay, this is easy pickings right here, all right? Let me take you over to the place where the name of the Most High actually shows up. But I can't do it from your book. I got to show you Hebraically where it comes from. Oh, because there are many gods, right? There's a ton of them. So, if you follow the 10 Commandments, and we go back to this here, and it says, you are to have no other gods before me. You have to know who God is. And if somebody else shows up, it says you will not have them before me. You will not be looking at them. So if JC is showing up and you called him God, he can't be God. He said, don't follow anybody because I just established that he is the Son. At that particular time in Rome, I don't know if you know that they actually produced coins with Augustus Caesar's face on them. And there was an inscription at the bottom of those gold coins. It was Filius Deus, which means son of God. There could have been many people called the Son of God. Julius Caesar was called the Son of God. Okay? We are talking about something specific. Okay? Just a feather to put in your quiver. You are to have no other else before me. Period. The end of story. All right. You are not to make for yourselves any carved image or any kind of representation of anything. Do you know what the Most High looks like? No. Why? Because he's a power. I am not a man that I should lie or change my mind. There is no depiction that you could actually put up and say, this is the Most High, because the Most High is a power. So if you're making an image of anything and saying it is God, it can't be. The Most High doesn't have. Okay. You are not to make for yourselves any carved image or any kind of representation of anything in the heaven above, on the earth beneath, or in the water below the shoreline. You are not to bow down to them or serve them. For what? I am what? I am Eya Asher, your El, and I am jealous. Amore said, I don't think they understood what, or even what we understood, what jealous actually means. They have no idea what jealous means. I'm pretty sure everybody in here has had the emotion of jealousy from one time or another in your life. It is not a good one. Okay? Punishing the children for the sins of their parents, also the third and fourth generation of those who hate me, but displaying grace to the 1,000th generation of those who love me and what? Obey my mitzvot. Okay, God is love. How do I know that? How do I know God is love? And what defines that? You're putting a moniker on, you're saying God is love. God is love. How do I know that? I just read it to you. I know that I exude love for the Most High, and he loves me back because he's telling me those who love me and do what? You have to obey my mitzvot. You show me that you love me by your actions, your behavior, by obeying my mitzvot. We'll be all right when I get you in my house and I tell you not to put your feet up on my couch. Listen, when you go into the bathroom, flush the toilet, light a match if you have to, put some air freshener down. Don't go in my cabinets without asking. If you need something, ask me. Okay? Simple stuff, etiquette type stuff. All right? And I know that you respect my house when you observe and obey my rulings that I have in my house. If I told you to take your shoes off before you came in, you must not respect me. And too many egregious acts will get you kicked out of my house. Okay? So, I can exude love, and I know what love is because I keep the commandments of the Most High. That's how he knows I love him. I show him. Okay? I'm just not this. All right? 11. You are not to misuse the name of Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh Yoel, because Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh will not leave unpunished someone who misuses his name. You bet. What they say, what is it, little baby say? You better put a little speck on my name. Respect my name. You better put some respect on my name. We're to respect the name of the Most High. Observe. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. If I love the Most High, then I have to do what he's asking me to do. He's asking me to do what in this next one? He says, observe the day of Sunday. Oh, wait a minute. That's a specific day? Okay, so then who changed that? But okay, that's cool though, because you're not Hebraic. I get it. Got it. He said every day is a Shabbat. Every day is a set apart holy day. Is it now? Is it? Then you should never work. Because if every day is a set apart day, then every day is a rest day then. Then why, how you get your money? Okay? But we're supposed to keep every day set apart. You ain't supposed to work. There are things about when, if you knew what the text said and it says what we're supposed to do on set apart days, you're supposed to rest. No work is to be done. So you are a bum. That's what you're telling me. And I know that ain't the truth. Okay? Your doctrine does not tell you to meet at any time. The only time, matter of fact, let me go back. The only time it talks about meeting is it says when Yeshua is over there and he says, every time you do this, and you do this in remembrance of me. You take this thing called communion. Every time that you do this in remembrance of me. So the frequency was never set. But we're not going to talk about those pagan ways over there, okay? Because we don't do that over here. Let's call it like we see it. Observe the day of Shabbat. To set it apart as what? Holy. It's a set apart day, as Yoel ordered you to do. You have 6 days to labor and do all your work. But the seventh day is a Shabbat. For whom? Yoel. On it you are not to do any kind of work. Not you, your son, your daughter, not your female or your male or female slaves, not your ox, not your donkey, or any of your other livestock, and not the foreigner staying with you inside the gates of your property, so that your male and female servants can rest just as you do. You are to remember that you were a slave in Mitzrayim. And Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh Yoel brought you out from there with a strong hand and an outstretched arm. Therefore, Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh Yoel has ordered you to keep the day of Shabbat. Honor your father and your mother, as Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh Yoel ordered you to do. You cannot call yourself a Hebrew, and you do not honor that. Honor your father and your mother, as Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh Yoel ordered you to do. So you will what? Live long and have things go well with you in the land Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh Yoel is giving you. Sounds like that particular mitzvah is attached to some type of consequence. Because if I don't honor my father and my mother, that means that I'm not going to what? Live long. Especially in the land. It says, do not murder. Does anybody need a tutorial on that? That's easy. Do not murder. Do not commit adultery. Now you need to stop. you need to know that there's mitzvot that are assigned to that one. Subcategory mitzvot that are assigned to that one. Because adultery is what? You have to have what for that recipe? A married woman. Does the man have to be married? No. He can be non-married, but as soon as he does something with that married woman, he is now an adulterer. So her and him are both to be what? Killed. Right? Stoned to death for adultery. Right? So it's just not your interpretation of what adultery is. I'm saying that to say that the Most High drills down and gets specific to a specific situation that gives you some insight on what adultery is. A married woman with either an unmarried man or married man is adultery, and both of them are to die. You can't now justify Matthew chapter 1. That right there took Matthew chapter number 1 out. We ain't doing that right now. Don't steal. Don't give false evidence against your neighbor. Do not covet your neighbor's wife. Do not covet your neighbor's house, his field, his male or female slaves, his ox, his donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. Mind your own business. Keep your eyes up off of mine. Okay? In other words, stay in your lane. And don't deviate therefrom. These are the words Yahweh spoke to the entire gathering at the mountain from fire, cloud, and thick mist in a loud voice. Then it ceased. But he wrote them on 2 stone tablets, which he gave to me. So you want to know what was on those tablets? That was what's on those first 2 tablets that Moshe has. Okay, let's keep going. It says, when you heard the voice. Now, this is the part that I'm talking about. These are the first 10 things that the Most High said. We call them the 10 utterances. And then they say, stop talking. Moshe, you do it for us. It says, when you heard the voice coming out of the darkness as the mountain blazed with fire, you came to me, all the heads of the tribes, your leaders, and said, here, Exile showed us his glory and his greatness. We have heard the voice from the fire, and we have seen today that El does speak with human beings, and they stay alive. But why should we keep risking death? This great fire will consume us. If we hear the voice of El anymore, we will die. For who is there of all humanity that has heard the voice of the living El speaking from the fire as we have and stayed alive? You go near. So they're talking to Moshe. These are the leaders saying to Moshe. So they say, you, Moshe, you go near and hear everything RL says. Then you will tell us everything RL says to you. And we will listen listen to it and do it. So we see what happens here. We see clearly. Now Moshe becomes the intercessor for all of Israel. So quit setting those first 10 aside like the rest is not coming, because there's more to come. All right? And again, you would have to prescribe to being Hebrew Israel for this to even apply to you. All right? Okay. Asher heard what you were saying when you spoke to me, and Asher said to me, I have heard what the people has said when speaking to you, and everything they have said is good. I agree to those terms. I agree to, okay, that's fine. I won't speak with you anymore. I agree just to speaking with you personally. Oh, how I wish their hearts, here we go. Listen to this. Oh, how I wish their hearts would stay like this always, that they would fear and obey all my mitzvot, so that it would go well with them and their children forever. He already knew we was going to have a problem. Oh, man. I wish they would. This is going to be a rough road. Okay? Go and tell them to return to their tents, but you, sir, stay here by me, and I will tell you all the mitzvot, laws, and rulings which you are to teach to whom? Them, Hebrew Israel, so that they can do what? Obey them in the land that I am giving them as their possession. He's honoring his covenant with our ancestors. Therefore, Avram, therefore, you are to be careful to do what your El has ordered you. You are not to what? Deviate either to the left or the right of it. You're doing too much. Okay? Just stop. You're doing too much. Just do what I asked you to do. If I asked you not to eat a certain thing, you're doing too much. Okay? I almost need to start saying that. You don't be saying, he said, you're doing too much, baby. Therefore, wait a minute. Oh, excuse me, 30. You are to follow the entire way which your El has ordered you, so you will what? Live. Things will what? Go well with you, and you will live long in the land you are about to possess. Chapter number 6. Now, this is the mitzvah, the command, the laws and rulings which your El ordered me to teach you to obey in the land you are crossing over to possess, so that you will what? This is a key word. Fear Yahweh, or Everybody knows what fear is, right? You know what the concept of fear. Fear is this thing that I'm not scared of it, but I respect it. I respect what it can do. If I'm working on a table saw and I'm pushing a piece of wood through that table saw, the safety precautions that I need to have while I'm pushing it through, there's like a push stick that goes along with it in some instances. Because I know that if I get too close to that blade is going to take me out. I am not afraid of the blade. I respect what it can do. That's when it says you fear something. I'm not cowering in the corner. I want my children to respect and fear me. Meaning, I know what my dad is capable of. So I just don't. Okay? Not that I'm scaring them, like a cowering scare. This is respect. That you are to fear your El, and observe all his regulations and mitzvot that I am giving you. You, your child, and your grandchildren, as long as you live, so that you will have what? Long life. Therefore, listen. Who? Does that say the world? So God so loved the world that he died and he gave his only... No, it didn't say that. It says what? It says who? This is to Hebrew Israel. So if you would have kept on with your 10 commandments, you would know that these are specific to a specific group of people and not the world. Okay? It says, therefore, listen whom? Israel. Right? And take care to do what? Keep telling you. Just do what I tell you to do and obey. So things will go well with you, and so that you will increase greatly, as the El of your ancestors promised you by giving you a land flowing with milk and honey. Here it is. This is famous. What is this? Shema Israel. Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. This is the part where we get, okay, wait a minute, here it is. Oh, wait a minute. I read it to you in Hebrew. I got to do it. Let me do it again. Shema Israel. Eloheinu. Yahweh Echad. Shema Israel. Eloheinu. Yahweh Echad. Echad is the word for one. Did it say I was split into three things? She said no uno and no dosis is no traces. No. I am one. Not two or three or four. He said yes. He said I'm single. I'm not in no date. I'm not dating nobody right now, okay? If you look me up on Facebook, my status would say single, okay? Got me off. Shema Israel, I am one, right? So anytime we hear a reference to the one, he tells you who the one is. I am one. And you are to what? Love Eye Asher Eye with all your heart. How do I love the Most High? Just told you how. By obeying and doing the mitzvot. He tells you, you show me you love me? Fine. Show me. Your El with all your heart and all your being and all your resources. These words which I am ordering you today are to be on your heart. You want to know what being on your heart is? Okay. When you know it and you do it and you don't have to fuddle around with it. It's written there. When my sons go out and they eat, or any of you of us eat, what do the first thing we do when we look at the menu? Matter of fact, this is a good one. We just had this one. We go to this restaurant and they serving greens. Bing, 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 bing. Hebrews, what are you thinking? The first thing you're thinking about when somebody says y'all serving greens. What are they cooked in? Right? They cook, yeah. That mitzvot kicked in immediately. That's what I'm talking about by being written on your heart. That whenever you're out and you're maneuvering, mitzvot just come straight up and say, am I in compliance with what the Most High asked me to do? Because they're written there and I know them so well that they're just, I know that I'm not in my land. So if I was in the land, I wouldn't have to worry about asking that question. It would just be there. But while I'm outside of the land, I have to be cognizant of these mitzvot and they have to be written on my heart for me to know what they are. Okay? It's going to be a different dynamic when you're in the land because you won't have to ask that question. We can't be in the land talking about, well, was this cooked in pork? It better not have been. Why am I even asking that? Okay? So these are written on your heart wherever you go. Okay? Let me keep my mouth shut. Ooh, I was getting ready to go somewhere. It's going to get me in trouble. My moral is going to pull me and say, don't do that ever again when you get up there. These words which I'm ordering you today are to be on your heart. And you are to teach them, which is what we try to do, carefully to your children. You are to talk about them when you do what? Sit at home. When you're traveling on the road. When you lie down and when you get up. Do you not do all of those things? When you're out, you're thinking about the mitzvot. When you're traveling, when you're sitting down, you're thinking about the mitzvot. Right? When you get up, you're thinking about the mitzvot. You should. You should. Looking at the, okay. Eight, tie them as a sign. Tie them on your hand as a sign. Put them on the front of your headband around your forehead and write them on the door frames of your house and on your gates. I had did a little dissertation before. This is me talking, okay? I need to make that establishment right now. This is me talking. I postulated as I read that, I said, how in the world am I going to write all of these mitzvot on my headband? How am I going to put all of these mitzvot? Because there's a lot of them. There's not just 2 or 3. Where this took me was back to Shemot chapter number 13. And in Shemot chapter number 13, I am saying that that particular instruction is germane to having us remember the things that happened in Mitzrayim when the Most High took us out with a strong hand and an outstretched arm. By saying, because it says in there that we are to tie them as a sign around our arm. And when you look at all of the places where that particular piece shows up, it's always talking about Pesach and Matzah. Let me show you. Let me go over to Shemot chapter number 13. I'm saying that this particular piece right here, by saying write them on your headband and on your arm, is related to a specific set of mitzvot about remembering that I took you out with an outstretched arm. And I want to tie that around you. It's talking about those particular mitzvot. This is just me talking. I'm not saying that we're doing a side quest real quick. Shemot chapter number 13, verse number 1. And we're not going to get to the thunder until we get back down to the almost verse number 9. We good? Shemot 13, verse 1. It says, Asher said to Moshe, set aside for me all the firstborn, whatever is first from the womb among the people of Israel. Both humans and animals belong to me. Moshe said to the people, remember this day on which you left Mitzrayim, the abode of slavery, because Asher by the strength of his hand, has brought you out of this place. Do not eat chametz, that's yeast. You are not to, or a fluffing agent. You are leaving today in the month of Aviv. Aviv means spring. So we know when the beginning of the year is. When Asher brings you into the land of the Canaanite, the Hittite, the Emori, the Hivi, and the Uvisi, which he swore to your ancestors to give you a land flowing with milk and honey. You are to observe this ceremony in this month. For 7 days you are to eat matzah. On the seventh day is to be a festival for Asher. Matzah is to be eaten throughout the 7 days. Neither chametz nor leavening agents are to be seen with you throughout your territory. On the day that you are to tell your son, it is because of what Asher did for me when I left Mitzrayim. Moreover, it will serve as a what? A sign on your hand and as a reminder between your eyes, so that Asher Torah may be written on your lips, because with a strong hand Asher brought you out of Mitzrayim. You see what I'm doing? I'm using chapter number 13 of Shemot to say that when you're doing this, if you do it, you're tying something on your hand or you're putting something on your headband. It's for the mitzvot that bring you back to how the Most High delivered our people from Mitzrayim. Those particular mitzvot, which tell you what? You have to observe the month of Aviv. You are to have the Feast of Matzah. That's how you're getting back to Pesach with those particular ones. All right? We'll remember those times. And they'll serve as a sign on your hand and a sign between your eyes and on as a headband. Okay? That's how I'm tying those two together. So when I read that, when we're over here in chapter number 6, let's go back over to Devarim or Deuteronomy, chapter number 6, and we are in verse number 8. And it says, tie them on your hand as a sign and put them as the front of your headband for your forehead, and write them on the door frames of your house and on your gates. Not all of the mitzvot, just these particular ones. That brings back that particular remembrance, which takes you back to Shemot chapter 13, okay? All right, let's move forward. 10. When Asher your El has brought you into the land he swore to your ancestors, Abraham, where is that at? That's in Bereshit chapter number 17. Yitzhak and Yaakov, that he would give you great cities and prosperous, which you didn't build, houses of all sorts of good things, which you didn't fill. How many of you have actually gone to, you're around Sacramento and you're like, I'm going to go look for a house. And they have the model homes. And you walk in the model homes and they're all decked out already. And interior decorators come in there and just done everything that they need to do in there to try to sell the space to you. That's what I'm imagining when I'm reading this. When the Most High says, when you go into the land, you're going to actually have houses that are already furnished for you. You won't have to bring that old dusty couch that you had before. All that stuff that you had out in the wilderness that you were walking around with, don't worry about all that. Your house is already furnished when you get there. You'll be fine. Okay? What does he tell them? It says, houses full of all sorts of good things, which you didn't fill. Cisterns dug out, which you didn't dig. Vineyards and olive trees, which you didn't plant. It's like these other nations were going in there getting this land ready for you. The Most High set it up in a way to say, okay, I need some workers to get this stuff done with. I'm going to just use these nations to get my wife's house ready for her. And you have eaten your fill, then be careful not to what? Forget about Yahweh, who brought you out of the land of Mizraim, where you lived as slaves. You are to fear Yahweh, serve and swear by his name. Does anybody need me to go over that again? Is that clear? Wait a minute. It says, you are to fear Yahweh and do what? Serve him. I understand that your Bible may say serve God or serve Lord. You need to understand that the name of the Most High has been removed. How many times? 68,000 times. The name of the Most High has been removed. So every time now you see Lord and God, you think of Jesus Christ. It's not the case. You are to fear Yahweh, serve him and swear by his name. You are not to do what? There it is. Follow other Els chosen from the Els of the people around you. If you knew who you were as Hebrew Israel, and you look at us in our exile right now, I am not to follow the gods of the other people, the nations that are around. I am in exile. I'm surrounded by other nations. Okay? I cannot serve your demigod. Okay? The Most High said it right there. Because Yahweh, your El, who is here with you, is a jealous El. One more in the back said, y'all have no idea what that means. It says, if you do the anger of Yahweh, I don't know if we understand what the anger of Yahweh is either. The anger of Yahweh, your El, will flare up against you, and he will destroy you from the face of the earth. Do not put Yahweh, your El, to the test. Don't test me. Don't try me. Don't think how, maybe if let me see how close I can get before the Most High might say something. How close can I get? Just don't. Do not put Yahweh, your El, to the test as you did, or at least as you tested him at Massah. This Massah can be found in Shemot chapter number 17, verses 1 through 7. I only got one more page to do. Let me read it to you. You don't have to turn there. Just listen. Just listen. Does anybody know what happened at Massah? Massah, excuse me. Okay. Something to do with water. Y'all traveling. Listen, y'all live in Sacramento. I know them folks in Palm Springs know that. When nobody outside when we were down there. I couldn't understand it because it was the heat. And you out in the desert. And you're hot. And you're funky. And you want some water. And you don't have it. And I know nobody in here has been around black folk when y'all get angry and short and curt. And you're hangry, you ain't ate yet. Oh, we don't have attitudes. We don't have attitudes. I was going to use a term that the young people use online. We don't have an RBF. Attitude out this world, right? This is what's happening at Massah. Listen, it says, the whole community of the people of Israel left the Sin desert, traveling in stages, as Yahweh had ordered. and camped in the Rephidim. But there was no water for the people to drink. The people quarreled with Moshe, demanding, "Give us water to drink." But Moshe replied, "Why pick a fight with me? Why are you testing Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh?" However, the people were thirsty for water, and they grumbled against Moshe. "For what did you bring us up from Egypt? Just to kill us, our children and our livestock with thirst." It says Moshe cried out to Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh, "What am I to do with these people? These rockhead folk that's complaining and got attitudes all the time. They will not trust in you. What am I supposed to do with these folk?" It says, they are ready to stone me. Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh answered Moshe, "Go on ahead of these people and bring you the leaders of Israel. Take your staff in your hand, the one you used to strike the river, and go. And I will stand in front of you there on the rock of Horeb. And you are to strike the rock, and water will come out of it, so the people can drink." Moshe did this in the sight of the leaders of Israel. The place was called Massah. Remember that. Massah. It's called testing. And Meribah, called quarreling, because the quarreling of the people of Israel, because they tested Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh by asking. And it goes on. Okay? Don't test the Most High. That's what happened at Massah. Don't get to the point where you're doubting me. Okay? I did all this stuff for you. Why would you doubt me now? You think I just did this just to, you know what? This song that comes to mind. Oh, man. I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me the road would be easy. I don't believe you brought me this far to leave me. Don't test me. I've done all these things for you. And you think I just did it for my health? I am not going to leave you. So don't test me, okay? I've shown you already what I can do. All you've shown me is that you can just renege and go back on your word and break my commands and disrespect me. That's what we've shown that you can do. Okay? Now, let's go back over to Deuteronomy chapter number 6. We'll get on out of here. We're going to pick up in verse 17. Deuteronomy chapter number 6, verse 17. And it reads, "Observe diligently the mitzvot of Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh Yoel, and his instructions and laws, which he has given to the world." To specifically you. Hebrew Israel, right. You are to do what is right and good in the sight of Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh. What is good and right? Obeying the mitzvot. What does it say in 17? It says, "Observe diligently the mitzvot of Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh Yoel, and his instructions and laws which he has given you. You are to do what is right and good in the sight of Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh." What is good and right in the sight of Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh? His mitzvot. "So that the things will go well with you, and you will enter and possess the good land Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh swore to your ancestors, expelling all your enemies ahead of you, as Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh said." Someday, your child is going to ask you, what is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of life. What is the meaning of the instructions, laws, and rulings which Eye Asher Eye your RL has laid down for you? Then you are to tell your child, we were slaves to Pharaoh in Mizraim. And Eye Asher Eye brought us out of Mizraim with a strong hand. Eye Asher Eye worked great and terrible signs and wonders against Mizraim, Paro, and all his household before our very own eyes. He brought us out from there in order to bring us to a land that he swore to our ancestors. Where is that at? That's back in Bereshit 17 with Avram. To our ancestors that he would give us, that Eye Asher Eye ordered us to what? Observe all these laws, to fear Eye Asher Eye, RL, always for our own good, that we might keep us alive as we were today. Here is the definition of righteousness. It will be righteousness for us if we are careful to obey all these mitzvot before Eye Asher Eye RL, just as he ordered us to do. This is your purpose for doing all of these things. Why do we observe these things? We observe them why? Because the Most High gave them to us, and in a part of this covenant, it talks about land. It talks about all the things that the Most High is going to uphold and do for us. We do these mitzvot so we're maintaining ourselves. We're maintaining the nation of Hebrew Israel through these mitzvot. Okay? So that would go good for us, that we'll live long. These mitzvot are attached to vitality, right? As we are in the land. Okay? Putting a nail in the coffin is that very last statement, which is the definition of righteousness. I can measure a person's righteousness. Oh, that's a righteous person. There's degrees upon which a person can be righteous. If I only do 2 of the mitzvot out of all of them there, am I a very righteous person? No. Not to make it a competition to say who can be the most righteous, because it's not a competition. But I'm just not going to say, okay, they're righteous in that particular regard. If I say that a person is righteous, and I'm almost getting myself into a hole here. If I say someone is righteous like Joseph, I have to assume that he's observing the mitzvot. But I don't know Joseph personally. I know that I would like to try to call myself righteous, but I know that I fall short of the mitzvot to some degree. Okay? My point here is establishing my gauge upon righteousness is against what? The mitzvot of the Most High. Not trying to make it a competition, not trying to say go in that particular vein. I probably shouldn't have said that. My point here is righteousness is defined by obeying the mitzvot of the Most High. And that, if we're going to call someone righteous, then now I have a benchmark and a foundation to compare them to. Case in point, I'm a Christian, but I'm a good Christian. What is that based off of? Can you go and tell me if I go to Destiny's Church or if I go to Calvary Christian Center, the congregants of both of those churches would be able to tell me what the benchmark of righteousness is, and it would be the same. I thought you was a Christian. Based on what criteria? If I call you righteous Hebraically, I'm basing it on what? The mitzvot of the Most High. I want to see the behavior of those mitzvot exemplified in your actions. That's how I know you're righteous, because I have a benchmark. All I'm simply saying here is that there is a lot of dynamics when you get across the street on what good or righteousness is, because the mitzvot have been done away with. Now it's open season on what we can interpret as being good. That's why you can have, oh boy, you can have people that are in pulpits that don't need to be in pulpits, talking about things and being justified by their actions off script. If the Most High said things are not supposed to be done and you're doing them, there's a lot of hypocrisy. The benchmark has been set for us, right? And it's the mitzvot of the Most High. Hopefully you got something out of that today. We're going to continue on with chapters number 7 and 8 when I return next week. We're going to continue remembering the things that have gone on with Hebrew Israel, and we're going to start getting into some more mitzvot as we go forward. But we've covered how many mitzvot today? How many mitzvot did we cover today? At least 10, right? Because we read the famous 10 Commandments. We know that there's more than 10 commandments. But we also know I don't care. Why? Because you don't follow the ways of the Most High. You can say that you do the 10 Commandments. That's fine. You can do the 10 Commandments in Buddhism too, to establish your ethical high ground, or whatever you want to call it for lack of eloquence. You're not Hebraic. You're not. So, when you want to talk to me about, okay, well, I follow the 10 Commandments, okay, that's fine. You follow the 10 Commandments, that's great. You're not telling me that you're Hebrew. So if you were Hebrew, I would evaluate you by all of them. You want to subjugate yourself to just a couple of them, that's fine. But let me show you where the Most High, well, first of all, we have to now, you see where all roads keep going back to the Most High. Now we have to go into who is the Most High. Do you even follow the Most High? Do you know who the Most High is? Wasn't that God? Oh, so you know that Yahweh is the Most High. Okay, let me take you over to Deuteronomy chapter number 6. It says Yahweh is one and that we are not to follow after any other gods. So why are we following after Jesus? You see how if you keep pointing your direction back to the Most High and trying to establish with people who He is and what His name is, now the doors open up for everything. How are you going to say that you follow after the Most High and not His Son now, and then say that this is, I'm supposed to be doing this? You can't establish it. How in the world do you say that you believe in the Most High and you know that the Most High created everything in 6 days, and in those 6 days hell wasn't created? So if you're telling me that you are now saying to me that the reason why you're a Christian is because you don't want to die and go to hell, I just established to you in the first 6 days that there is no such thing as hell, because hell wasn't made, because everything after the first 6 days, nothing else was made. So what are we even in a place for that doesn't exist? Or matter of fact, let me ask you another question. If the Most High made hell, then what else didn't He make, didn't He tell us about? Now you open up the door that you can just make up anything. So if your salvation is based on you not going to a place that you can't even substantiate or even actually have a foundation for in text at all, then you got to ask yourself, what am I believing in over here? That's why I always say, and I saw it in the comments section, start at the beginning. Just don't start at Matthew chapter 1 and read your way to the end and go to Revelation. Go all the way. Start at Bereshit chapter 1 if you're going to pick up this idolatrous book. Oh. I said an idolatrous book. Why do I say this is an idolatrous book? Your Hebrew scriptures are in this book right here. And this is the book that we use a lot to read from. But the Most High didn't say anything about intertwining us with somebody else. Why do we use it? Because that's where the minds of a lot of Hebrews are. They know this book, and this is the only place that they're going to see the Most High. I can't tell them about a Tikkun, or I can't tell them about a Chumash, or I can't tell them about, what's another one? A Tanakh. I can't tell them about that. They know about the Bible. And when you got a demigod mixed in here with our stuff, and then you got this stuff pointing all over the place, this has got idolatry all in it. Okay? We use it because that's where your minds are at. If we were focused on the Most High, we wouldn't even know a thing about the New Testament. But the point here is start at the beginning. If you're going to use this, start at the beginning and read and find out what the behavior patterns of the Most High are. You'll find out that the Most High is not playing with y'all. And we'll find out at the same time who the Most High's chosen people are, because that's the thing that you lose when you go across the street. Now I'm pontificating, I'm preaching now. If I go across the street, you're going to lose a couple of things. You're going to lose the Most High's people. You're going to lose the Most High's land. You're going to lose the Most High. And you're going to lose all of the mitzvot. When you get over to the New Testament, them 4 things are gone. You see, matter of fact, if you listen to the podcast that we just did, you see the imagery that the Most High has brought in to describe how much he loves Hebrew Israel. And all of a sudden, after a 400-year dirt nap, I just forgot about you. And what I mean by a 400-year dirt nap, this is the time between Malachi and Matthew. So I just forgot the most beautiful woman that I've ever seen. Poof. And then I start talking crazy over here when I get across the street about stuff that I would not do. Now I'm doing. Now I die. Now there's 3 of me. Now I'm breaking mitzvot of adultery to get into the world. I'm allowing my emissaries to say that my own word is worthless. Start at the beginning and read your way over there. And I'm telling you, by the time you're going to get over there, if you're not going, or continue to keep going to your free therapy sessions just to get on Sunday because they ain't teaching you nothing else but just to sit there and keep your lights on anyway. Rolling around, doing whatever you're going to do. Let me, y'all can stand up. Let me bless you so you can get out of here. In the Hebrew tongue, it says, Yivarekaka Yahweh v'yishmareka, Yair Yahweh panav eleka v'chuneka, Yisa Yahweh panav eleka v'yasam leka shalom. Which just simply means in English, may Yahweh, nobody's back there to change it. I know the first 2 words. May Yahweh bless you and keep you. May Yahweh make his face to shine on you and show you, cut me to the front of the line. Show me some favor. Show you his favor. May Yahweh lift up his face towards you and give all of you shalom. Until next time, West Coast Hebrews.